It's something I really believe in. It's something that it pulls out the emotional passion and emotional belief systems and the side of our team that we don't see on some of our client delivery work that we do. It connects those dots between what people really like to think about and the drivers for people and how they think and apply their brains to a certain problem set. I love that kind of idea generation, taking on a challenge and figuring out the solution. That's what makes me want to be involved.
40 passionate analysts, consultants, advisors, and experts embarked on a journey together for 4 months to make an impact on some of the most challenging problems facing Bosnian society.
And we all dared ourselves to change the world. And I think the highlight was, from my vantage point, seeing the eyes of different people on their levels of their belief to whether that's going to happen or not.
This year, D2i worked with Mosaic Foundation, the leading social enterprise in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The D2i Fellows worked with Mosaic to build an impact strategy that aims to create a new socially responsible generation of outstanding young leaders who generate new jobs and serve as role models for all youth in BIH.
So when I think of Bosnia, I think the immediate thing that comes to mind is the socio-political context that surrounds the country and the people that live there. But I think what's come to mind more recently is this idea of opportunity.
Kind of knowing that people out there care. Like people see Bosnia and see the potential in Bosnia. And getting a big firm like Deloitte to recognize that and to demonstrate that to them, I think is really important and will hopefully motivate them as they continue to grow and fulfill their 10-year strategy.
And we have this saying that Jim Collins is my favorite consultant on human resources management. He said that vision is not something that you start with. You start with people, and you find real people to sit in your bus. If you have right people sitting on your bus and they sit in right places, there is no place that you cannot reach.
I must say I was a bit skeptical. The promises of actually having people work together for a number of hours under high pressure, in a high pressure environment, and then to be able to actually develop revenue generating solutions for some of the social problems we have in this country, it did really sound like a mission impossible.
D2i is a program built by the firm's high-performing junior practitioners who seek to develop international communities, their colleagues, and themselves. Developing our people, developing our world.
D2i is a skills-based learning program with an international community impact.
I guess at its core, it's a group of people that are like-minded, that are passionate about social impact as they know it, and being able to use the skills that we learn in the business world and that are growing in the business world for creative social good.
Analysts and consultants were selected from across service lines and the federal and commercial practices to participate in the D2i program.
So this is actually my favorite part of the program, is picking this amazing group of people. In terms of what we were looking for, I think first we were looking for people who were truly interested in social impact. And you ask anyone, they'll tell you they're interested, they'll tell you they're passionate, but we really wanted people who believed in this and would further the cause in their own lives and also within Deloitte.
Once the fellows were selected, they were put into 4 teams and worked to develop solutions in addition to their day-to-day client work.
Working with people across different functionalities and service lines who I knew would challenge me and challenge the way that I think. Being able to do work in the field that I am most passionate about, which is development, and then being able to see something from end to end.
Helping a country like Bosnia to really get out from its post-conflict issues and really helping the youth of that nation. Just a great opportunity. But the second big reason was also just a great opportunity to work with some of the young talent in this firm. So this was a rare opportunity for me where I was actually being asked to not step in too heavily but instead to really coach and guide the next generation of leadership.
Because I was on the receiving end when I was a little kid growing up in war-torn Bosnia, I was on the receiving end of a lot of help from the international community. And I saw the good things and the bad things of that, and I saw what worked and what didn't work. And I was always kind of struggling with myself, you know, how do you actually make a difference? You know, is it through donations? What does it mean to make a social impact?
Since the program's inception in 2012, D2i has worked with development organizations in Guatemala and Bosnia.
First and foremost, we've developed much more advanced solutions. We're working with a more advanced partner, and so the level of social impact has definitely grown. And at the same time, I think that transfers to the talent development side as well.
The true impact of the D2i program lies in the people it develops and the organizations it works with. Junior practitioners who participate in D2i not only build advanced consulting skills, but they also return to their client work with the confidence to generate ideas and deliver solutions independently.
I think it's also almost as powerful as creating the linkages across the Deloitte network of member firms. This program has really shown that we as Deloitte US can create very lasting and strong relationships with our member firms in other countries. In this case, it was with Deloitte Bosnia.
And it feeds some of the real passions that we see in our younger professionals around making a global impact.
It's very personal for me, and it feels like just an extension of, you know, my Deloitte family in a really meaningful way.
One aspect that I think has made this group of fellows successful, and I would argue that it's what has made D2i in general successful, is that it's not a no group, it's a yes and group. So whenever someone throws out an idea within a D2i meeting or a call or a workshop, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say no to an idea, and that's an incredible environment to work in. It's always, yes, and we could do this.
And so I would say what makes the fellows in particular so special though in the program is the energy that they bring, the wholeheartedness that they bring to the program, and then also just the authenticity and drive that we bring not only to supporting and helping build one another, but then also the partner that we're working with.
D2i and the organizations that it works with learn and grow from one another.
Bosnia is lagging behind our neighbors, and if you want to catch up with neighboring countries in terms of innovation, in terms of attractiveness, competitiveness report just came out, we need to do better than them. We have to be better than them over the next 10 years.
This is a really, really hard problem. We're dealing with a country with 45% unemployment, where 2/3 of the youth don't have jobs, where they just don't have a legacy of entrepreneurship.
So I think this is exactly how I think we can go about it, which is find the most promising young people with the right values, help them achieve their personal objectives, and help them change this country over the longer run.
So Mosaic has this idea by 2022 of creating a new generation of socially minded entrepreneurs. And I think the solutions that we provide them will set them right along that path.
Yes, so the Innovation Tournament was a day-long event with youth from around Bosnia. So we literally drove the bus around Bosnia and picked up youth from different communities that are members of the youth bank. The first half, I could feel our Bosnian colleagues and partners like, is this going to work? I don't know if it's going to work, and having some of that anxiety. And there was this breakthrough moment right around lunch that you could see the confidence and you could see the trust between our fellows who were coaching the teams and the teams that were working on their innovation concepts. So seeing that breakthrough was just an incredible thing to experience, and to see the connections and the between the fellows and our Bosnian colleagues, and then just the pride in the teams of youth and the solutions they came up with was just an incredible time for me.
To me personally, I really like the way that we did it, and the way that the Deloitte people helped us do it. Like the way they facilitated, they really told us like, this is what we think it's good, so you can take it, you don't have to. But I really appreciate their advices and all the time and the effort that they spent in.
The impact of D2i's collaboration with Mosaic exceeded all expectations, giving tremendous hope for the success of future programs.
What we received from D2i, from Deloitte, was really exciting. It was really exciting. But what it really made an impact on are my colleagues, the team members. Because they were involved in some of the groups, or they were, we had to keep our other activities ongoing while working with D2i. So for them was a life-changing experience. I think now they finally understand that what we are trying to do here is not a utopia, it's not like a mission impossible. It is something which is carefully thought through for the next 10 years.
The D2i fellows and advisors all took away different impactful experiences from their time in the program.
But D2i has been an experience for me, both last year as a sort of subject matter expert for the teams, as well as then this year as an advisor, that really brings home that emphasis that Deloitte has around people.
The relationships and that I had with the fellows is really the highlight of the trip for me and the most enduring impact that the program will have.
So I'm a part of the innovation tournament team, and we have weekly calls with Zoran from Mosaic, and at the end of the call, when everyone was kind of saying how they were really looking forward to heading to Bosnia very soon, Zoran, as he was signing off, said, "Thank you for listening." And that really resonated with me because it reminded me of how important listening is for both consulting and for international development. It really is what the entire fields, what they're each really based on.
One of the most moving ones for me personally was the debrief that we did the very last day that we were there together in country in Bosnia. And it's, again, if you weren't in the room, it's an emotion that I don't think can be recreated, and the power of it still sits with me today. But essentially you had 40 plus practitioners that were coming together and reflecting without the noise of consulting of DC, and reflecting on what we were able to accomplish and learn and grow as a unit over the process of 4 months.
The best way for me to put it would be kind of the thanks, the gratitude they show in their eyes when they look at you, and the gratitude they show to all of us from just their faces and the way they approach us and the way they interact with us, whether it's just through touching, through hugging. It's fascinating to see, and I think they're so grateful for everything we've done.
As the D2i program in Bosnia comes to a close, the current and future leaders of the program look forward to what the next generation of fellows will accomplish.
My biggest hope for the program is really that it has a lasting impact and presence on the countries that we go to. So when I think of Mosaic, and when I think of Zoran and Vesna and Belma and their staff, like, I want 3 to 4 years from now to still have connections with them, and I want the fellows still to have connections.
I think from the step number one is that each of us is able to make a true connection with the people that they work with. And I mean that from their teammates, I mean that from their community that they work with, and all the other partners that work with us during that. And by true connection, I mean if we do 1 year and that's it, that's a failure. If the fellows from Bosnia never think about Bosnia after 5 years, that's a failure. The hope is that with some way, form, or shape, that we all have a little bit of Bosnia as we grow and as we continue to grow, and Bosnia has a little bit of us.